and welcome back to the Tapping Fix. Today, as promised, I'm going to go over what's called the full recipe for EFT tapping. It takes into account something called the 9 Gamut series, which was originally developed by Roger Callahan, and he came up with something called thought field therapy. For any of you guys that want to look it up or go further in that direction, it's kind of the founding forefather of your basic EFT that most people are utilizing today. Where this is really helpful is if you have an issue that you've been dealing with for a while and you're trying to get that shift and you've been working on it and you just can't get it to go completely away. There's still an energetic charge there. There's still something that's just right at the bottom level and you just can't get it to shift. Utilizing the 9 Gamut series has been helpful for a lot of people to take this all the way if the basic recipe is not getting it done. For most people, the basic recipe is all you need, and they found that it worked really well. So after time, the 9 Gamut series isn't used as much unless it's one of those things where, as I say, you have something that you just can't seem to get cleared. One of the other reasons why it's not used as much today is because there are some aspects to it that some people find, not as comfortable to utilize. It's a little more woohoo-ish. You get to do some humming and some counting and some eye swirling, and it's definitely not something I would suggest doing in public, your first few times. So you don't have people looking at you saying, oh boy, what is she doing or what is he doing? It's definitely something that you want to try in the privacy of your own home at first, and you kind of want to make sure that you get used to it. But it is a really effective tool, so it's something I want to make sure that you have at your fingertips, no pun intended, in case it's something that you feel would be helpful to you. Okay, so let's imagine that we've gone through our basic recipe and we've said, let's use back pain. Let's say, even though I have this back pain, and we're going to get specific, right? Because it's when we're specific that we can create the biggest shift. So instead of saying just back pain, we're going to say, even though I have this throbbing pain on the right side of my lower back and it aches and it hurts, and then we're going to say, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Or we might say, I accept that this is where my body is at this given time, right? We're going to do that 3 times. Then we're going to start on the points, and we're going to say, this pain, this back pain, right? This pain is in my lower right hand corner of my back. It's throbbing, it's hurting, it makes me distracted, I'm not feeling any better, all of this pain, okay? Usually we're going to take about 2 or 3 rounds and we're going to go through the type of pain that we're having. We're going to get very specific about where it is and what it's doing to us psychologically and physically. And then we're going to add, hopefully, about 3 rounds or so of letting it go, right? And at that we would shift and we would say, letting go of this pain. We might tell ourselves this is safe to let this go now. You might say to yourself, I'm going to release any baggage that's tied to this, any triggers, any traumas, and I'm just going to let it go, right? I'm going to let it all go, letting all this back pain go. So we've done our basic recipe. Now we're going to go into the 9 Gamut series, which gives us a full recipe. You can find your gamut spot located between your ring finger and your pinky, about 1 inch below your knuckle. You can kind of feel an indentation there. Okay, and you're going to tap right there. Now, when I'm doing this personally, I like to put this up against my heart, my hand, and I like to tap. It gives me a couple of things. It gives me something to tap against, which I like. I like the feeling of doing it up against my heart. And if I've been doing a lot of tapping and my arms are tired at all, it really helps me, not to have to keep my hand out here and hold it up and hold it around. For these purposes, though, I am going to hold it out for you so that you can kind of get an idea of the rhythm and the timing that this takes. Okay, so we're going to start our tapping for our 9 Gamut series, and we're going to tap about It's 5 to 6 times with each thing you're supposed to be doing, and the tapping never stops until you're finished. I try to do about 6 or 7 times because if it's 5 or 6 times, I don't want to do 4, so I just decided to do a little bit more. Another thing is you don't want to tap too quickly. Some people do this, they do it really quickly, and I find that stresses me out, which it's supposed to be doing the opposite. So take a nice, even rhythm when you start. Okay, so remember 6 to 7 times, we're just going to start tapping, and we're going to do this. We're going to close our eyes and tap 6 to 7 times. We're going to open them back up and tap 6 to 7 times, looking straight ahead. Then we're going to take a hard left with our eyes and look down and to the left 6 or 7 times with our tapping. We're going to change that to the right side, hard right down. Then we're going to take a big swirl with our eyes, counterclockwise, and then clockwise. Then we're going to hum a tune. We're going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to hum a tune again. Okay, that's your 9 Gamut series. Now, you can see why maybe people, when people were first doing EFT and they started with this thought field therapy and they said, hey guys, this is great. This is totally helping people. You need to get on board with this. And people said, all right, how do we do it? And they said, well, you're going to tap, you're going to roll your eyes, you're going to hum a bit, you're going to count to 5. And people went, huh? Right? And so nowadays they've gone to the regular basic EFT, which just isn't quite so, like we say, woohoo or out there. At the same time, it does work and it does help a lot of people get past extra blocks. And the thought field therapy approach is the same type of thing as EFT. Remember, they were kind of the founding fathers of this. It's just that they have sequences in which you do your tapping, and then you always do this 9 Gamut series. So, and we'll go over those some more in some other videos for anybody who would like to delve into this further. But for this, particular exercise, all I want you to realize is that the wonderful thing about tapping is that you're really working inside yourself to create a shift. If that's not happening with the basic series that everybody says, hey, try this, it works, and it's not totally working for you, this is an extended series that you can utilize to try. I mean, the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to be in your room humming to yourself, and counting to 5 and swirling your eyes around, and it's not going to help you much more. Or at any time that shift can happen, and maybe because you did this extra thing that also included all of these things that really your brain taps into, whether you understand how it's working or not, and you get that shift. Now, something important to note, when you're humming, don't get hung up on the humming. Some people say, oh, hum the birthday song, or hum this, or hum that. It doesn't matter what you hum. Just make sure that you're humming enough that you've tapped 6 or 7 times. It's not, don't get too tied. What am I humming? How am I humming? Am I really humming, right? Just get that humming done. It's something for your brain that even though we don't, they understand how it works, even though you might not totally understand how it works, it's okay. Just do the humming, count out loud to 5, let your eyes swirl. Now, and I should say, I said counterclockwise and then clockwise. You don't have to do that. You can go either direction. I find it, easier for me to really get that mental tag where I'm just going to go counterclockwise and then I'm going to go clockwise. That's what I'm comfortable with. Of course, you can't change like the order, but if you go, right instead of left and hard left instead of right, and you do your circles and stuff, it still works exactly the same as long as the sequence is in order and you get the humming, the counting, and the humming. Okay, so I hope this was helpful for you. I hope that you try it. Don't be put off by it just because it's not normal. Let your body try this and see if it really speaks to you, because at the end of the day, if it helps you create a shift and it helps you to get where you're going, then the rest of it really doesn't matter. So I hope that you add this on to your stuff if you have something stubborn that's not going away. And you can always shoot me some comments. Let me know if it works for you or it's not working for you, or you have some other questions that you'd like me to do. And all right, have a great day. Until next time. Thanks.